Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, welcome along to Good Afternoon Rabble here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast, part of the Rabble Network. Um, that'll be a Domino's advert straight away.
Where did that come from?
Other pizza delivery services are available, unless Domino's want to sponsor the Rabble, in which case it is only Domino's. But we shall wait and see if we get a call from them. I'm not ready to go. It was only the fact that Brian pointed out that it was now 12:30. That I've decided that we're ready to go. Brian, how are you?
Not bad, thanks. Not bad. Long day already, but yeah, good to chat. Good to chat Rangers again. And we'll see, because obviously massive night tomorrow night. We'll just have to. I think we'll dive deep into it later on this afternoon, but more importantly tonight when it's the main Rabble at 7:30. So yeah, so I mean, interesting day and probably afternoon and more especially night tomorrow, because it's huge tomorrow. It's very big.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Thomas, you're absolutely right, mate. I'm never late, so I don't really know what anybody's complaining about. Do you know what? JM, right? I thought this was Tuesday today. I could have sworn Saturday it was Sunday. I get completely lost in my days. Completely lost in my days.
That's a sign
Brian,
of old age.
yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, so also a sign of old age that when you just move, you injure yourself. That's also a sign of old age. So Brian, just very quickly, because I want to talk about a few things. But Jeffy out of the European squad. And obviously we've no idea. I've not heard anything about it. If new signing Jayden Meghoma is in the Euro squad, I very much doubt it. I don't think he's got clearance yet to play. So we're going into Bruges tomorrow with no left back.
I think if you'd watched the CEO tier last night with the boardroom with me, you and Kenny, I was lamenting our situation on that last night. I just fail to understand how we've managed to get ourselves in a situation where we have now got no credible left back available for tomorrow night. Possibly one of our biggest games of the season. Let's be honest. We had Robbie Fraser in the building. I'd rather have kept him at least till this tie was at least over, because at least I would rather have Robbie Fraser, a recognised left back, playing, rather than it'll be a shoehorn of either a three at the back with Diamande as the wing back, or Diamande as the left back, or Aarons as a left back who's a right back. So it's just I find it just or I just find it amazing that we've got ourselves in a situation that we had two left backs. One's on the verge of leaving. One is probably going to leave, but is currently injured, Ridvan, and we've none. I just find it absolutely amazing that, I mean, I don't care who you are. If you've got a position that you're needing filled and you've got a game like the Bruges game tomorrow night and then next week, you get somebody in that's going to do a job for you at left back who's comfortable playing there. You do not want to have a right back playing left back and shoehorning people into that position. You need guys. I'm just bemused by this whole situation and how we've got here and what we're left with.
Oh, you could also have a centre mid playing left back as well. I mean, is Yilmaz injured? I didn't hear that.
Well, I don't know if he's injured, but I mean,
I don't think he is. I just think he's not been selected at all by Russell Martin. Even for tomorrow, because obviously you can make one change or two or whatever it is, two changes or whatever it is. 24 hours before. Even if you're taking Jeffy out, you just say to Ridvan, right, we might need you on Tuesday and put him in the squad at least, Brian. No, or is that kamikaze thinking?
Well, it's not kamikaze thinking. It's normal thinking. It's common thinking. You need a left back. We need one. I mean, you've just let Robbie Fraser go out the building days before a Champions League game. I'm amazed they've let Robbie Fraser go at this stage. At least, as I say, at least keep him around until this tie was at least over. I'm just, Yeah, I mean, obviously the managers isn't fancy Ridvan. Ridvan's obviously angling to go back to Turkey. The talk with Jefty is that Palmeiras have all but done the deal. He's obviously wanting back to Brazil. So he, this situation hasn't just been thrown upon him suddenly. This has been we've known about this situation for weeks.
Well, yes, but as multiple man saying in the comments, he says, I think we've been left stunned by the 6 million bid for Jefty. We had to take it. Again, and we're going to talk about Raskin as well, right? But I just don't think Russell Martin was ever really enamoured by Jefty.
No, I don't think he was. And I think multiple man's got a point. I mean, when a bid like that comes in, it does sort of take you aback because you're like, nobody was thinking he was leaving at this stage. And especially for the amount that's been quoted. I think if you told any right-minded Rangers fan there's going to be a bid coming in for Jefty and it's going to be upwards of £5 million, I think everybody would have thought you were off your head. So for a bid like that to come in,
do we need to cut Russell Martin and the board some slack then, if it's something that we couldn't have foreseen happening?
I think in that respect, you probably have to, yes, regarding the Jeffries. But at the same time, he hasn't fancied Ridvan. He's let Fraser go, so he's technically only left us with one left back in the building. He's now got Meghoma in the building, but not in the European squad as of yet. So it's still a situation that I feel this whole left back situation could still have been avoided, in the sense that we needed somebody in experienced, because Jefty's only 21. So Ridvan is you would probably class as the most experienced left back, but not in the European squad. So I just find it a bizarre. I just find it amazing that we've left it this long, and we're signing a guy from from down the English Championship
From Brentford.
From Brentford. That's he's had 10 top flight games, and you're asking him. Well, you're potentially maybe asking him to play in a Champions League playoff game. It's just amazing that this is where we are.
Can I just say to Cassie, as fans, I don't think we can really moan about letting go left backs we didn't want. I wanted Jefty. I wanted Jefty to stay. I like Jefty. I was a fan of Jefty. I wanted him to stay. I'm actually a wee bit gutted that he's going. And I know that I'm in the minority, which seems to be with a lot of my opinions right now. I'm in the minority, which I've absolutely no issues being in the minority, none whatsoever. But I'm a little bit gutted that Jefty's away. But I suppose a £6 million bid for a player that Russell Martin clearly didn't fancy, and that most fans, I think, would agree that if you got a £6 million bid for Jefty, you had to take it. I think there's more potential there, and I think with the right left back coming in, the right left back that just does not sound right, but the correct left back coming in was maybe a little bit more experienced, I think would have helped Jefty a lot. But the fact that we've brought in Jayden Meghoma, well, yeah, okay, that's not going to happen because the boy's only 19. I think he's only played one Premier League game, 12 Championship games or something like that, Brian. So the left back that we've brought in on just a straight loan isn't the most experienced.
No, and we were crying out for a left back with some experience, and we've gone and done the opposite. We've brought in a rookie. Let's be honest, he's a rookie. He's barely, as you say, one EPL game, a dozen Championship games. So he's barely even got experience in the lower league in England. So this is a huge gamble. It's an extremely big gamble, and we need we needed somebody with a bit of guile and a bit of experience in that left back situation where can handle a European playoff like this, a big game against Bruges, because we know Bruges all too well. We played them in the pre-season, and they were very good at that first half they played. They were extremely good. They only eased off because they changed their entire game, their entire team, and we brought on our better players. So it's going to be a difficult task tomorrow night. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, I'm just amazed that we still haven't brought in somebody with any form of experience that's played at that level.
As much as this absolutely pains me to say, right, and this is quite painful for me, Brian. Lyndon's made a good point, right? 3 out of the back 4 on loan. I mean, the building for the future thing, look, that doesn't really bother me as much if you've got loans in loads of different positions. Or I suppose maybe it doesn't even really matter if you've got them all in the kind of one area of the team, because you buy what you can and you loan what you can't buy. And then in January, you buy more and blah, 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 as the story unfolds. But is it a bit worrying that, one of the most important part of the teams, the midfield's important, the strikers are important. But as a defence, 3 out of our 4 possible starting defenders are loans.
That's screaming to me that if they wanted to buy anybody, they're not available now. That's what that screams. As you say, you loan somebody you can't have, and they've obviously thought that the guys that they were going to buy or potentially going to buy weren't the quality of the guys that are coming in on loan. So for me, this is a bit of a sticky plaster situation where they're getting guys in on loan just to get by this season, and then maybe in the next summer they'll try and attack the defensive situation a bit better. I think that's. I would like to have seen us sign guys in the defence, because I think the defence was the biggest problem for us last year. I don't think attacking wise was our biggest issue. I think it was defending. So I'd like to have seen us sign guys for the defence rather than loans. So at least we can, get them in, bed them in, and get them experience, but get them into the way of playing that we want, rather than 3 guys on loan and at the end of the season you're going to lose them. So you're back to square one. So I think this is a bit of a tricky plaster situation that we couldn't sign anybody on permanent, so we loaned guys.
For me, unless you're bringing in a loan with the option or obligation or whatever to buy, right? If you're just bringing in a straight loan, for example, a Giga, right, and Aaron's, the loans that you're bringing in have to come in and be ready to go, right? Because otherwise, what are you doing? You're bringing people in who aren't quite ready, but aren't going to be in your squad the following season. Mm-hmm. If you like Giga, for example, that's a good loan, right? Because he's a good defender. I know he gets sent off and stuff, but he'll be a good defender for us throughout the season. Max Aaron's still yet to prove, I think, whether he's going to be good enough at Rangers for the season, because I think he's had a bit of a sticky start. But when he first came in, that was somebody who you looked at and you went, right, okay, so that's going to be, like you say, if you want to use that term, sticky plaster at right back until January or the following summer when we get the player who we want to get, or maybe we haven't found that player yet. The difference for me with a left back with Jayden, he could come in and be excellent. Mm-hmm. He could be absolutely excellent. He could be the best player in the team. He could be a breath of fresh air. But I think when you bring in a 19-year-old who's not got a lot of playing time, Brian, that says to me that surely to God, Rangers are looking at another left back, and you would expect that to be a permanent signing, wouldn't you?
You're totally correct. Absolutely. That's the next port of call, as you say. A permanent left back signing is now surely in the offing, especially if we get $6 million for Jefty. That's got to be the next. That has got to be the next sort of signing coming in the door. Somebody that's going to come in and be a permanent left back and be the starting left back. As you say, Meghoma might come in and do very well, but as you say, I think everybody's a little bit sort of wary about his lack of experience and his lack of game time. That obviously goes against the lad purely because of just his lack of game time. As you say, he might come in, he might storm it. We just don't know. We've got nothing to base an opinion on to say that he's going to come in and do really well. We're going by appearance sort of how many appearances he's made where he's played one game in the EPL and a dozen in Championship. So you're even looking at that, your opinion can't be based on anything, very much. So yeah, the left back, we need a permanent left back in next. That has got to be the next port of call for Russell Martin and Kevin Thelwell, definitely.
We've had the worst joke of the day in so far. We've had a really poor joke in for Ian Chisholm, and he should be absolutely ashamed of himself. Maybe waiting for the dominoes to fall for transfers now. Eh?
Oh,
Shocking behaviour, Ian. Shocking behaviour. You should be ashamed of yourself. I just say welcome. Welcome, JM. He has become a member on YouTube. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. Thank you for joining the Rabble community. And I hope you enjoy all the extra content. And thank you very much, my friend. So yeah, I mean, look, we could sit here and talk transfers all day, Brian. We'll obviously speak more about Jayden tonight. There's actually quite a lot of stuff that I think needs discussed tonight, and obviously we'll preview the game a lot more tonight as well. But just very quickly, and again, a couple of things that we spoke about last night on the boardroom on the members show. Bailey Rice. I don't know if I'm just a bit oversensitive about young players coming through because I want them to make it into the team, and I would love us to have and I've said it 1,001 times. I would love us to have 11 young Scottish players who were good enough to come in and play, right? 1 to 11. That would be fantastic. See, in the Alloa game, did the manager kind of throw Bailey under the bus a little?
I think he did. He's not a left back. Let's call a spade a spade. He's not a left back. He's a central midfielder, Bailey. I think at the very, very worst, you could maybe operate him at a left centre half, but he is a central midfield player. He's not got the pace for being a left back either. He's not. He can obviously get about the pitch, Bailey, but for a fullback, you need to be quite explosive and quite pacey. And Bailey's not an explosive, pacey player. That's not his thing. So yeah, I feel kind of sorry for Rice that he was thrown in at that situation. But at the same time, you've then got to, as you say, is the manager to blame? Absolutely, because then we could have signed a left back and then Bailey wouldn't have had to play there. So he has. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the manager and the scouting team have sort of thrown Bailey under the bus because that's not his position. You're asking a lot of a young lad to play, with a lack of game time that he's already had, but then ask him to play in a position he's unfamiliar with. So it's a difficult one, and folk are saying that there's comparisons now with what's his name, Lowry. Now you're getting that comparisons, and that's not what you want. You don't want to hear those comparisons because everybody was quite excited when we signed Bailey Rice that he was going to be one of the future stars of the Rangers midfield. So it's a worrying situation now for Bailey, and he's obviously out of contract in the summer as well. So I think the writing's on the wall for him now. I don't think he's going to have a future at Rangers, and I think he'll leave next summer on a free, I'm afraid.
I mean, multiple man, youngster or not, Rice was a disgrace, wasn't bothering his arse. He has been lackadaisical in most of his appearances for us. I think disgrace is a bit harsh. And I can tell you just through conversations that I've had with his dad and stuff, he definitely doesn't have an attitude problem. Again, a lot of people say that to me when they see my face on here and they go, why is you always grumpy? It's just his face. It's literally just his face and the way that he carries himself. He doesn't have an attitude problem. I do think Multiple Man has a point, though, in terms of Bailey Rice, Brian, that he's had a couple of games where he's been a standout, but I think more often than not, I think when he has been given a chance, and it's difficult when you've been given limited opportunities, especially as a youngster, it's very, very difficult. But unfortunately, at a club like Rangers, where we don't really bring through youth at a rate that we should be, if you don't take your opportunity when it's given to you, if you don't grab the bull by the horns, if you like, then you're kind of forgotten about, left out the team. And I think there's been several occasions at Queen's Park, most notably, I think, where he has failed to shine. But again, I'll caveat that with it's very difficult to do that when you're not getting a consistent amount of game time.
Yeah. I mean, he's been thrown in, as you say, the Man United game and then the home game following that Man United. Can't remember who it was, and he hurt his head. As you say, he's getting minutes here, he's getting minutes there, he's getting 45 minutes here, there. he's not getting a run of games. And as you say, everybody loves to see a young lad coming through and breaking into the first team and trying to make his way into the first team. Everybody loves that. I think the youngsters get a little bit extra leeway in the sense that fans are more willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and not criticise them far too much early on if they've not started well. I think the youth get a little bit of leeway, but there's a point where the fans even turn. Like, I think when McCausland first burst on the scene, everybody was excited, and then slowly but surely the fans sort of realised he's not up to it. He's not good enough. So I think this is the same situation with Bailey Rice.
Sorry, Brian. What probably doesn't help him, I think, is the fact that Finlay Curtis has come into the team and shown right away.
Yes, absolutely. And Finlay Curtis wasn't. I think he was thrown in earlier than what he probably expected. Finlay was. I think the situation at the end of last season was there was not much other option other than having to play Finlay like away to Aberdeen and stuff like that. But Finlay's such a good player; he acquitted himself extremely well, and he scored goals in Europe and I think he scored in Europe, didn't he? He scored goals in the league, and he's done very well. So Finlay's taken his chances when he's come on. He's acquitted himself brilliantly from the games I've seen. So it just shows to the youth guys that, look, if you take your chance, there's a chance you can stay in the team and contribute and score goals and getting amongst it. So Finlay's shown the way for the youngsters that if you stick at it and you take your chance, then you have got a chance in the first team.
Can I just say to our amazing moderators, by the way, who I never actually thank for all the work that they do. Thank you to our amazing moderators. But can I just say to them, any supporter of any team is allowed to watch the Rabble. Any supporter of any team is allowed to comment as long as it's respectful. Obviously, if it breaks that respectful barrier, then absolutely the moderators will deal with you. But any supporter of any team is allowed to come in and comment on the Rabble. It's a free country. Even if it's our rivals, debate is a great thing. But any supporter of any team's more than welcome to come into the comments and have debate with people in the comments, as long as it's respectful. As long as it's respectful. And the most disrespectful people are actually some of our moderators, and it's towards me, but I don't ban them. But no, I do thank all the moderators for all the work that they do. Thank you very much, guys. But just remember, anybody's allowed in the comments, anybody's allowed to have a conversation, as long as it remains respectful. As Butler says, everyone is welcome to like and subscribe as well. Yes. If you enjoy the show, please do leave a like. It really does help the algorithm. And make sure that you subscribe. We're marching towards 15,000 subscribers, by the way, which is absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy, considering we've just passed 14,000 subscribers. So a massive thank you for that. Make sure you're following us on all socials as well. It really does. It helps us out as well greatly. So thank you very much. And as Stephen Robertson, our morning Rabble phone-in legend, says, smash that like button, folks. Really do. Let's get us up to 100 likes on the show. It really does help out. It really, really does. And Stephen, my friend, thank you very much. And Stephen is not.
When you go.
I was just going to say, Stephen is not scared of spiders.
No, he's a tough Australian. It takes a lot to make them scared of anything. But if you watch the morning Rabble, folks, Scott Kearney fairly gives it tight to Martin. So you can just, that's the level of abuse that he gets quite regular, isn't it?
Yes. I wait till my missus gets home from work and I just fall into her arms crying because of the abuse I get for Scott. I really, really do. Brian, Nico Raskin, it was actually quite an interesting conversation this morning on the Morning Rabble, right? And it wasn't really something that I was thinking about that much until it was brought up. But obviously left out completely against Alloa, which you could maybe look at and go, well, he's just resting him. That's all he's doing. He's just giving him a rest. I think the manager even came out and said that after the game, that he was just giving some people a rest. But the likes of Rothwell and stuff were in the team, played quite a lot of minutes when Rothwell's probably played more than Raskin, I would say, so far this season. Are you worried at all that there's any sort of rift between Martin and Raskin? Or are you worried at all that maybe Martin, is the impression that I'm getting, by the way, no inside knowledge, no nothing, just my opinion from what I'm seeing, and I could be totally wrong, that maybe Russell Martin's not Nico Raskin's biggest fan?
I think Russell Martin came out and said not long after the one game that he was dropped, he was like, "I'm putting it out there. There's nothing wrong. Me and Nico are fine. Just folk are putting 2 and 2 together because he hasn't started a game. That there's a problem." So the manager came out early doors and says, "Look, there's no problem. It was a tactical decision. It was nothing to do with Nico and his training or whatever." So the managers came out and already tried to quash that one. What I'm worried about now is we've got to the 2-year sort of line where he has 2 years left in his contract. There's obviously been talks of Nico moving on and going on to greater and bigger things. There's been talks of bids coming in, well into double digits, millions of pounds. So this is a sticky situation for the club because we don't want to go down the route of the Kent and Morelos situation where allegedly there was bids coming in, from places where we're going to get 16 million for Lille and, Kent was getting touted for big moves. And then 2 years down the line, we lost them both for nothing. So I don't want this situation to happen where Raskin ran his contract down at his last club as well. So this is a dicey situation for the club. They kind of have to now get him signed up, or certainly by this point look at moving him on, because although he's got the World Cup next year, he's got to get in the squad. I mean, he's in the squad just now, but you've to still get into that World Cup squad, and B, you've got to actually perform at the World Cup. It's all very well getting into the squad, but you might not get games. You might not play at all. So, it's a sticky. They've got to watch what they're doing here. The club, they've got to make a decision fairly soon. Is Nico going to be hanging around, or are they going to move him on? So I just don't want another Kent Morelos situation where big numbers are allegedly coming in for him, and then we keep him, and then he runs down his contract and he leaves. That's the only thing I don't want to happen.
Well, I mean, as Russell Martin said, there's been no bids.
No.
So we were led to believe there was big bids coming in. There's been no bids, and I don't want us to make a mountain out of a molehill with this. It could be absolutely nothing. I mean, Raskin could be starting on Tuesday, and he could then be in the team, and he might not come back out. And him and Martin, there's absolutely nothing wrong. Obviously, there was the wee bust up after the Motherwell game, I think.
Motherwell, yeah.
And Raskin had his say back, but I've not heard anything else in terms of there's been that they don't get on or whatever. But what do Rangers do in this situation anyway, Brian? Even if there's not been any sort of bust up, even if Russell Martin does plan to make Raskin part of his plans moving forward, is it a case of Rangers saying, right, well, it's maybe worth more to us to keep a hold of him, to try and win the league, to try and make it into the Champions League this year, because that's worth more to us financially than selling him for 15, 20 or the quoted 25 million. Because if we don't sell him now, his valuation then probably drops in January as well, I would say. And then if he's not willing to sign a new contract and we go into the following season, regardless of what he does at the World Cup, with a year left in your contract, your value drops again.
That's what I'm saying. This is an awkward situation now for the club. They've really got to look at Nico and say, right, is this guy going to sign a new deal? I think they've got to establish it. Is he going to sign a new deal? That's I think was it Dujon Sterling, his Instagram story says get this contract signed. Remember ages ago he did that in the summer. So he was, according to Dujon Sterling, there was something in the offing back then, but you don't know. I mean, maybe he's just saying what everybody else is thinking, get a new deal signed. So the club have got to decide whether they want, as you say, want to keep Nico around for this season, accept the fact that he'll have a good summer, a good season, and then get in the World Cup and then maybe move on next summer. But then, as you just said, quite rightly, the value then drops next summer because he's only got a year left, and you can't expect you'll be very lucky to get double figures for him at that stage with a year left. So this summer's is probably his last chance, Rangers' last chance to get good money for him, unless he signs a new deal. So yeah, it's a difficult one for the club. They're going to have to make they've maybe already decided, but as I say, we don't know. They might have something lined up, so it's going to be difficult to. And with Nico as well, he's just into the Belgium squad as well, so that profile goes up. So it's going to be an interesting summer and an interesting season as well, because he's still got to keep himself in that Belgium squad, throughout the qualifiers as well. So it's going to be, the club's got a really difficult decision to make.
Yeah, the club really does. Final point for me, Brian. Can I just say, the amount of people that are now tuning into these afternoon rabbles, it's going up and up and up all the time. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you very much to everybody who takes time out of their day just to tune in and watch us. It really does mean a lot. Thank you very much. I could just ask anybody on YouTube, if you're enjoying the show, just hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really, really does help us out. So finally, Brian, because we're going to obviously delve into this a lot more tonight, and obviously rumours that there's teams after Brugge's best player, which just seems to happen to us quite a lot. We seem to get a wee bit of luck there. But a question for Handyman: who's looking forward to tomorrow? Are you looking forward to tomorrow, Brian, or are you anxious and nervous?
I don't know whether I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm really nervous just because of what I've seen in the pre-season, in the Brugge game at pre-season. I mean, they absolutely schooled us that first half. They barely broke a sweat, and they were 2-0 up. And Brugge have went deep into European competitions as well. So this Brugge team are really good. I think it's Christos Tzoulias, the Greek boy that they're. I think Palace are after 36 million. Palace bidded, but Brugge are wanting 45 million euros. So I got that off one of my mates who's a Belgian and who goes to all the Brugge games. So that's where he's hearing. Excuse me, from the Brugge side. So, but I mean, I don't know if Brugge would want to get rid of him at this stage. I'd be very surprised if they let him go before the Rangers tie's over. They'll be wanting to keep him at least to get into the Champions League. Then maybe they'll want to sell him after that once they get the Champions League money. So I'll be very surprised if this Tzoulias moves on before we play them tomorrow night. There's no chance they're going to sell him before that. And yeah, I can see where Blue Mac's coming from. A lot of folk are very nervous tomorrow but at the same time, Europe's not our problem, and we've always said this. European games don't seem to really be our Achilles heel. It's the league form. It's the Achilles heel. So in some respects, I'm nervous.
That's what Scott's saying.
Make the Champions League. Yeah. This is the thing. Folk are more concerned about going away to St Mirren and going away to other places in Scotland rather than playing in Europe, because the players somehow switch on and play very well in Europe. So it's you're kind of thinking as well, when the players hear that Champions League music at Ibrox and the crowd will roar, they've got to think to themselves, right, this is what we could potentially have for 4 games in the Champions League at Ibrox. I'm wanting a bit of this. So, and again, this is the frustrating thing with this squad. They'll probably play very well tomorrow against Bruges, and I'm certainly not saying that we're going to struggle against Bruges, but they're an experienced European team. They're very good, but at the same time, I can see why folk are worried about playing them. But at the same time, there's people saying they're not worried because they're more concerned about St Mirren away.
But I genuinely think Bruges will be worried about coming to Ibrox as well. I do genuinely believe that, because it's a pre-season friendly is a pre-season friendly, but we've took on better teams in Bruges and beat them at Ibrox. Mm-hmm. I mean, all right, and the current guys, let's be honest, we don't know what we're going to get for this Rangers team, because we don't know what kind of Russell Martin team's going to show up. But it's not like Bruges will be coming and going, oh, this is going to be easy on Tuesday.
No.
Bruges will be coming and going, oh, this is going to be a really, really tough game. I like this comment, though. I'm more looking forward to the chili I'm making tomorrow. We live in hope you will put in a performance, need at least a 3-0 to take over to Belgium. The biggest question I've got for that is, what kind of chili are you making? I do like a chili.
Yeah,
I do like a chili.
chill, good.
Um,
Chill. And let's be honest,
oh,
is with JM, I would take any form of win over at Belgium. It could be 1-0. I don't care.
yeah. Do you know what though? I think when you see the performance against Pilsen and Bruges are a big step up for Pilsen. We took
Yes.
a 3-0 lead over there. And at times it looked a bit ropey and it looked a bit dicey. I would say we need to go to Bruges with at least a 2-0 advantage, at least. And I think even that's going to be tight.
Yeah, because as you said, Bruges are a very experienced European team, and they're extremely well schooled in playing Europe home and away. So this,
Experienced Champions League team.
yes, and one of the originals along with us,
Mm-hmm.
one of the OGs of the Champions League, one of the original 8 stars. So yeah, Bruges they're a very good team.
Yeah, Spinning Bird Flips
would,
asking are Bruges actually decent? They're a very good team. Very
yes,
good team.
Bruges. Yeah, I mean, as you say, Martin, we have taken on bigger teams, and beat them at Ibrox. So, but as you said, that's not this current squad. This is the problem now. We in past seasons we've kind of taken, even if we got beat 1-0, like the Leipzig game, we got beat 1-0 away from home. We were quite happy with that result because we knew we could get a result at Ibrox. We knew we could get something there. So, and when obviously we realised we were going to get Leipzig, everybody was like, "Oh goodness, they're a good team." But we did that with Dortmund. We got through them. We did. I think it was Brugge. And the more we went on, we played bigger and better teams, and we got past them. So Bruges will be coming, thinking this is going to be a tough game, but they'll be fairly confident as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and can I just say to Shona, she's saying, I take it as YouTube user reading comments off of. I did bring up your got to be honest, not very nervous comment. I did bring that up, Shona. I do try. It's just that sometimes the comments go very, very quickly. And 99% of the comments are from YouTube. So apologies, but I did bring that comment up for you. So keep commenting. Please do. The more people we can get on Facebook, the better. So, yeah, look, we're back tonight at 7:30, but we'll delve a lot more into the Bruges game. And we'll just look at all the latest Rangers news and discuss absolutely everything Rangers, as we do every day. And we'll be talking Scott, we'll be talking Mikey Moore, we'll be talking Gassama, Ant-Man, you name it, Finlay Curtis, Russell Martin, the full works. So that's on tonight at 7:30. Before that, though, and if I don't say this, will actually destroy me. 6:30, the Rangers Women's Show's back tonight. And then at 9 p.m, the SPFL Premier Sports Cup Review Show is on as well. So loads and loads of content coming your way from the Rabble today. Loads and loads of content coming throughout the week. Loads and loads of member stuff as well. So if you want to help support the channel out further by becoming a member, you can now. Links are in the description. YouTube memberships or Patreon memberships, whatever you prefer. All the member stuff's live on YouTube, and then it's uploaded to Patreon after we went live on YouTube. So if you prefer just to listen to the audio at your work, or you don't really tune in live to stuff and you fancy Patreon, then the Patreon link's down there for you as well. Brian, I was going to say, how you doing? We're finishing. Brian, thank you.
Thank you, my Monday afternoon pal. Thank you.
Yes, I know. It seems to be. I'm going to need to start paying you soon.
Oh, I do it I do it out of sheer love, Martin.
Yes, I know you do. That's not why you send me horrible messages on WhatsApp. And yeah, I know. Right, folks, listen, go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to mine and Brian's, no pun intended, rabble. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, all that stuff. It really does mean the world. So thank you very much. We'll see you hopefully back here at 6:30 tonight for the women's show. And then we'll see you back here at 7:30 for the Monday Night Rabble. And hello to David on Facebook as well. Right, folks, speak soon.